Southeast Texas Weekly, brought to you by the Modern Vein Surgery Institute at Privity Clinic for Surgical Care.
And we are back on Southeast Texas Weekly. I'm Kevin Steele. So great to have you with us for this program today, talking politics once again, and joining us to talk about politics, a couple of the candidates who you are going to see on the ballot in November. We hope you vote. Please go out and vote. Allison Getz here, the Republican candidate for Jefferson County Tax Assessor Collector, is to my left, my immediate left. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. And of course, Thomas Segee, Democratic candidate for Jefferson County Tax Assessor Collector, is to my far left. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, had you on a couple of programs. Good to have you back. All right, give us a quick word in the distant past. Give us a quick word, guys. In this particular race, what are the most important qualifications for Tax Assessor Collector? Thomas Segee, we start with you.
Well, I think it's a totality of things, not just the education or being qualified per se, because the qualifications actually are certification through the state of Texas. I have 12 hours towards that qualification process because I've taken some of the courses. I believe that the tax assessor collector has to be well-rounded, involved with the community, have the leadership ability and the education as well in order to be a good tax assessor for Jefferson County.
And tell us about your view of that certification and what the qualifications are for this post.
Well, I agree that it's a well-rounded opportunity. I have a BBA in finance from the University of Texas, and I've been in the brokerage business for 20 years. I'm currently a senior financial advisor at Merrill Lynch. I've also worked extensively in the nonprofit community, served as president of 12 different local organizations. So I feel like it is a combination of education, professional background, and leadership qualities that make a good tax assessor collector.
Possibly we should back up just a touch. Tell us who you are, Thomas Segee, as a bit of a biography of sorts. Tell us who Thomas Segee is and why the viewers, in your view, should pick you for this position.
Well, I'm the father of five. I have four boys and two girls. They're all grown and basically out of the house, which is a blessing in itself. I've been defending my country all of my life. I've been in the military since I was 17 years old. I recently retired out of the reserve system. And leadership is a key thing in that office. For the last 4 years, they've had 4 different tax assessor collectors. And I think that I would bring the commitment and the stability to the office that's needed. It's a disservice to you as a taxpayer as well as to the employees themselves to be constantly going from program to program, leader to leader, idea to idea. And I believe that I bring the stability, or will bring the stability to that office.
Ms. Getz, tell us your view, tell us your background, so to speak, your biography.
Well, like I said before, I have the education, the financial background, and I believe the leadership qualities through my service in the community. But I also feel like it's important that you maintain the integrity of that office and make sure that everyone is appreciated and that we have the customer service for our taxpayers that they deserve. And also the voter registrar is in that office, and I think it's very important that we make sure that our voting rolls reflect people that are actually living and breathing in Jefferson County.
Will this position change much because of the addition of the elections administrator per se? Is the voter registrar part of the office as important, and how does that play into your thinking about what the assessor collector role is going forward?
I think it's very important. I think it's an opportunity to reach out to the residents of Jefferson County, make sure that we have everyone registered to vote that we possibly can. But I also think those voter rolls need to be accurate. They need to reflect truly who is actually living and breathing here.
Is that to say that they have not been accurate in the past, in your view?
No, I think that there have been great strides in improving that. In fact, I think Shane Howard did a lot to improve that, and I think we need to continue that.
Okay, and tell us your view about this matter of the voter registrar. In the past, there hasn't been an elections administrator. Jefferson County will now have one. Changes the position much, or how do you see that?
Well, in reference to your question about the election administrator, I think it's a good deal for Jefferson County because the election administrator actually works for the county clerk, and that individual takes some of the burden off the county clerk. As your tax assessor collector, I would be willing to share that burden to ensure that the elections are neutral, fair, and impartial. I've heard a lot about the voting rolls being cleaned up. They have been cleaned up. And I've also heard the mantra of dead people voting, or people who are not breathing
Right.
voting. That's not happening in Jefferson County.
That's not happening.
It's not happening.
How do you articulate for voters when they ask you on the campaign trail, so to speak, why you are the most qualified person for the post? What do you say to them?
I would say that I have the educational background, which includes having taken courses in tax accounting and financial matters throughout my life. And through my business experience, I've also had continuing education with ethics and other courses that would be similar to the type of courses that Mr. Segee says that he has taken. And so I feel like I do have a head start when it comes to knowing about different financial practices, not just managing money, which is what I do for a living, but actually understanding the financial practices and being able to calculate the effective tax rate and understand what that's all about.
Let me give you 45 seconds on this one. Why are you the most qualified person in your view as far as what you tell on the campaign trail the voters who say they want to know you? Why are you the most
The
qualified?
totality of me as a person, not just the education, not just the experience, not just the leadership, but the commitment and the ability to bring stability to that office. I believe that's what makes me a great candidate.
Okay. We continue with these two candidates coming up in just moments here on Southeast Texas Weekly. Stay with us, but we'll be back right back.